Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages across all nations, races, and denominations, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today bringing you guys and gals Bleach! Taite Kubo's finest work, chapter 650 review. As always, if you have not seen the live reaction to the chapter, then there'll be an annotation right here as well as a link in the box below. Now, I'm going to dive right in because even though the chapter is simple, we got to talk about a few things, honestly, for a while. So bear with me here. 3 things that comprise the chapter. Number 1, Barro and his transformations. Number 2, Kyoraku talking to his actual Zanpakuto, Katen, or Sakura no Yuki, or whatever her name is. And then number 3, it is Nanao getting her actual Zanpakuto back from Kyoraku, Kyokotsu, and that's really the chapter. So let me save the last part for last. Number 1, Barro. There are 2 good things about Barro, and then there are 2 bad things about Barro. Let's start with the good first. Number 1, Barro does have fairly good DC, destructive capacity. I can't deny it. The fact that he can raise his arm and then a beam comes down and then he just wastelands everything, that's pretty cool. It's like a white version of Mugetsu with more width. Because Mugetsu was a very thin attack. I could have sidestepped that shit. Legit could have sidestepped that shit. That would have been on point. But this one has more width to it, and plus they're on a floating city, so if the parts underneath break, then the city itself collapses in that area, which makes the attack even more impressive from a visual standpoint. So basically, I like the attack. It's pretty cool. Number 2 is he is tenacious, because he's been going through all this stuff. He got a disease, he got the attacks that he inflicted upon Kyoraku right back at him. He was sent into some pseudo-watery Reiatsu abyss that would freeze your resolve. Then, of course, there was him getting his throat cut by Reiatsu, so that kind of explains Kyoraku's final attack, where Kyoraku's final dawn, it's not like some, Zankai no Tachi shit. It's just a reishi thread that cuts. Ooh. But he got his head blown off by that throat cut, and he's still coming at the guy. So he is tenacious, and I do like that about him. So, it does showcase that he is, in fact, a Quincy that is worth his salt. So I do like that. Not like Grammy. So that's 2 good things about Barro. Now, when it comes to the 2 bad things, the first one is very, very obvious. His design is utter shit. And I'm sorry, okay? It is truly shitty. And honestly, I got the feeling that Shonen Jump, Shueisha, they give Kubo free range when it comes to brothers. Another black guy? Yeah, do whatever the fuck you want to do. Yeah, go at it, man. Go crazy, all right? You know what, Tosin, PP, yeah, man, go crazy, all right? Oh, my... I mean, we're talking about, oh god, this guy started off as a black guy with a gun. Now look at him. He was a black dude with a gun, and now he is some freak of nature. I mean, Zomari, Tosin, PP, they had terrible outcomes. But holy shit, I mean, this is an abomination, man. He knows, it's going to be the last black guy in the series. Yeah, let me go hardcore. Let me go at it. Fuck it, I don't care. I mean, it's nuts. We're talking about... Okay, first of all, the legs are fucking ridiculous. The legs are ridiculous, all right? The arms are okay. The wings are pretty cool. The facial portions are absolutely retarded. All right, I mean, it took the dinosaurs hundreds of millions of years to evolve into birds. And here Barro is. He takes a brontosaurus neck. He has an owl head. He slaps them 2 on together. Boom, he's a freak of nature. He did what hundreds of millions of years did within 2 seconds, and it's abysmal. The owls of Gahul have entered Bleach, and they are freaks of nature. And on top of that, he has a skirt, and it's like, yo, Kubo! Like, come on. Like, I know that Kubo knows that he's going, like, he's trying to do something unique with Barro, where he's an angel, and the angels in their true forms are something very far removed from the human form, where if we would actually see them, we would find them to be grotesque and horrifying. He's going that route. And you can kind of tell because he says that Barro, he is fantastically grotesque. It just so happens that the next black guy down the line is fantastically grotesque. Oh my god. Just how Pee-Pee thought that he was sexy as shit, but he had fucking rolls for days. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck, man? I mean, I got rolls, but he had rolls for days, man. And he was like wearing a Speedo and shit, and then he was going like, yeah, love heart thing. I'm like, oh shit, god damn it, Kubo. God fucking damn it, man. Like, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying it's abysmal, all right? It's abysmal. Kubo, he's in his art room or draw room, wherever he works, and he's going like, yeah, this shit is really stupid. Yes, it's stupid, and you know it's stupid. But he has free range. He does. That's number one. Number two is there is a weakness that I think is very apparent that's on the way. It's his eyes. Because when he stares at these thinners for too long, his eyes get dry. Now, apparently, they don't have basic cable in the Quincy world. He never saw a Clear Eyes commercial. Because if he did, he would have gone to Human World, gotten like 15,000 packs of that shit. But apparently, again, they lack basic cable. So, his power started off with his eyes opening. We can assume that his eyes being open throughout the entirety of this fight has caused his eyes to be dry. Like my eyes are becoming right now. And so basically, when his eyes are dry and he has to constantly blink, what I'm assuming here is that if he closes his eyes for a period of time, he can't use his powers, or there's a time limit to his powers. So he can use his powers for, like, let's say 3 or 4 minutes and then he's done. So, I mean, that's my assumption based on how, again, he is being affected by having dry eyes, even though he's invincible or whatever. So, those are the two bad, those are the two good. Now, when it comes to the Kyoraku and his Zanpakuto thing, Kubo was actually very vague on this, where she stated, close your eyes, Kyoraku. We'll escape, or let me take over. And when he was closing his eyes, it looked like he was on the verge of dying. Kyoraku. And now, if not for her interference, he probably would have passed away. So, what I'm guessing at is she would have taken his soul elsewhere so they could exist together and be happy, I suppose. Or would she have actually, taken control of his physical body and then escaped? Or would she take him to another realm, his body and everything? I'm not too sure what she meant by will escape. How would you escape, Barro, who right now knows where you are via some enhanced sensory ability, and he is tenacious. He's going to come after you no matter what because you're a sinner. So, what's going on here specifically when it comes to her statement? I'm not too sure. But keep that in mind. Now, the next thing is, and the last thing, honestly, basically, here's what happened, alright? No, you guys know what happened, fuck it. I have a problem with Kyoraku apparently holding on to Nanao's Zanpakuto in more ways than just one. Number one is that I think this goes against the original continuity of the story. Because way back when, during Soul Society arc, Nanao, she had something up her sleeve when Kyoraku and Ukitake were going up against Yamamoto. She literally had something up her sleeve. Yeah. And Yamamoto psyched her out. Bitch, stand down. But I'm thinking that was probably her Zanpakuto. Now, granted, that's my assumption. That is my assumption. But what else could have been? I mean, odds are, well, granted, she is a Keto based individual, but my assumption is that she had a Zanpakuto or something like that at her disposal to help Kyoraku. And I believe, because someone sent me PM, where there was actually a color artwork thing that Kubo did, where he actually shows Nanao with her Zanpakuto. So that is like legit, because Kubo drew it, he colored it in. So the whole thing here is that if that's the case, which it is the case, then him having her Zanpakuto since way back when makes no sense. Furthermore, Yamamoto himself stated that the only two captains that could use two swords, Zanpakuto, were Kyoraku and Ukitake. Now, granted, Ukitake, he starts at one Zanpakuto, then the Shikai transforms into two. But Kyoraku started at two. He was two from Jump Street. And they both have the same curvature and the same structure and whatnot. So, Yamamoto didn't know that way back when Kyoraku had one Zanpakuto, then all of a sudden got two. Yamamoto Genryusai? Who, in many ways, saw Kyoraku and Ukitake as his sons? So I'm not sure, honestly, if this goes against the continuity of the original story. The only way I can make sure is through the flashback that we're going to get. Because the flashback that we're going to get, obviously, is going to pertain to the mother of Nanao. And what's going to be important here is whether or not Nanao's mother is, well, the timeline, basically. The time frame of when Nanao's mother actually existed, or if she's still alive, but she's not there. You know what? The flashback. Fuck it. The goddamn flashback is going to be important. Because it's going to explain the time frame of when this all took place. And that time frame is going to be very important. Because if the time frame is later rather than sooner, then it maybe does not go against continuity. But if it's sooner rather than later, then it will go against continuity in the story. Furthermore, I'm not done yet. I ain't done yet. Furthermore, when it comes to the curvature of the swords, because they're the same, I can only assume that maybe Nanao is Kyoraku's daughter. Because this goes along the same line as Ichigo and Ishii, where both of their Zanpakuto can use Getsu Gatencho, and one is Engetsu, one is Zangetsu. And granted, I mean, they don't look the same, honestly, they really don't. But it would go along that same line, where like when it comes to family, the traits of some of the Zanpakuto would carry through the generation, stuff like that. So that could maybe explain why the character is the same for both Katen and Kyokotsu. But the next thing after that, ain't done yet, is even if she's getting her Zanpakuto back, obviously. And so it looks like it's going to be her against Barro. Because Kyoraku, he's done. Alright, he's coughing up blood, he's in the corner, he has holes through his shoulder, through his stomach, he's done. Alright? Even Katen said, like, this is our maximum power. The Reiatsu thread was the last thing that we could do, and it didn't work, so we failed. We can't fight anymore. So it's going to be Nanao against Barro. If, in fact, Kyoraku was holding on to her Zanpakuto throughout the entirety of the story, even in the past, that means that Nanao has not had any time to work on a Bankai, let alone a Shikai. So let's assume that for some odd reason she has a Shikai. If her Shikai itself can beat Barro, that means that from a potency standpoint, her Shikai is superior than Zaraki Kenpachi's Shikai. Because Barro isn't Gremmy. Barro's one of the top Quincy's that Yuha has. According to Barro, he is Yuha's perfection. He is his ultimate masterpiece. If Nanao's Shikai by itself could beat Barro, we got a problem. If she has a Bankai, Then we got a whole new set of problems. Because it takes a long time to transfer a Bankai. But how could she transfer a Bankai when Kyoraku had her Zanpakuto the entire damn time? And mind you, he was surprised that she knew about this whole thing. About the mom and whatnot. So, he didn't give her, as far as you can tell, he never gave her back her Zanpakuto. He kept it for her because her mom wanted it to be that way. So, how the fuck is she going to beat Barro? So, I think, once again, Taite Kubo has wrote himself into a corner. Because Kubo, he can try and wheedle his way out of this corner. But the problem is, there's too many traps. So, either way, there is going to be something, I think honestly, that is going to completely either A, go against the continuity of the story, or B, just make no damn sense. So, we'll see how it works out. The flashback is going to be key. But, even after the flashback, how she beats Barro, if she beats Barro, is going to be the key thing there. So, at this point in time, it shouldn't really matter, because Barro's so damn powerful, and he's durable, very durable. I won't say invincible, but he's very durable, very tenacious, to the point where not even Kyoraku's Bankai, who, mind you, he's an elder captain, not even his Bankai could do it. So if her Bankai or if her Shikai could do it, then we got some problems. We got some major problems here. So overall, the chapter rating, honestly, I think the chapter is a subpar plus to okay chapter, honestly. And I'll leave it at that. And the main reasons why is because of the reasons I already said before. And I'll leave it at that. So King Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a nice goddamn day.